Good. We're live. And my brain just stopped right there. Okay, why am I live at 3:45 on a Saturday afternoon? Because we are going to do the final chapter of Scientific Christian Mental Practice. I wasn't even supposed to be here, but the weather is a factor. So, yeah, right now I should be having dinner with my mother, and that didn't happen. So, and I get it, and I'm grateful, because it has pretty much rained all day, and right now, about an hour ago, it said it was 38 degrees with it feels like 30. It's now 38 degrees with feels like 33. And overnight, it's supposed to drop into the 20s. Yay! So, I'm going to take advantage of that, and we are going to finish Christian Science Mental Practice, because I'm about 3 chapters ahead of the class, so this is good. And then next week, if I can figure out how to do it, we're going to start High Mysticism. I am absolutely sure I have a copy of that book. I cannot find it. So I've done one thing, which is I ordered a copy, but because of weather, it may not get here before Saturday. So Jesse emailed me a copy, a digital copy, a PDF. So I can at least see if I can do that. I'm not sure. So, but we are rounding out Christian Science Mental Practice by Emma Curtis Hopkins, with chapter 12, The Crown of Glory. To the Romans, Paul wrote the 12th lesson of the science of Christ. Love worketh no ill to his neighbor. Therefore, love is the fulfilling of the law. Jesus Christ said at the Last Supper, Henceforth I call you not servants, but I have called you friends. For all things that I have heard of my Father I have made known to you. His life was his doctrine. Having it so regarded, he said, Greater love hath no person than this, that a person lay down their life for their friends. Given all his doctrine to his friends, he gave them his life. Seeing their heavy miseries, he descended into heavy miseries to show them how to ascend out of their miseries. A fireman goes into a burning building to bring out the people who are in danger, just as a good physician goes into a plague hospital to cure the patients. Jesus was so full to overflowing with love that the plagues and dangers of this world did not terrify him in the least. He was not hurt by a single one of the miseries he threw himself into. Love is stronger than death. He that hath love hath freedom from every ill. He that hath abundance of love, wherewithin God fills the universe, can save his friends from every ill. He that is an atmosphere wherever he walks. Love diffuses itself with all its powers. Having love, we have life, so we radiate life. Having love, we have strength, so we radiate strength. Pure love for a child will save the life of a child. So the life of all is saved if a person loves God, for God is all. Jesus loved God. Thus he had all the life, all the love, all the truth, all of substance, all of intelligence, all of beauty, and all of health, all of inspiration. He, therefore, saved the whole world. Even to look at him would cure when he was manifest in flesh. He, never having gone away from our side, We can look upon him now and be cured of whatever ailment we cry about. Some people cry with lonesomeness. He will cure that entirely if they look upon him. Looking at him mentally is the way we look nowadays, though it is certain that some people, even in this century, have seen Jesus, the healer, as present before them as he was before the two Marys at his tomb. Looking mentally upon Jesus Christ as present will cure poverty, it will cure blindness, it will cure deafness, it will cure palsy, it will cure rheumatism, it will cure insanity. The amethyst is the symbol of the miracle-working power of love. It is the love stone in the sense that the celadony is the love stone and is a still further sense than that stone. It is the stone of the resurrection, of the ascension, of the new kingdom, where love is filling a person's mind and overflows to the world and awakens the same love to shine back. It is that love that is stronger than death. And when it enters into a person's love, death is not possible. It is that love which, being centered into persons, it is that love which, being entered into humanities, is stronger than hate, stronger than poverty, stronger than swords, stronger than crucifixion and the tomb. The amethyst stone has the hues of all the stones. There is no stone which, as you look into the heavenly face of the amethyst, is not seen shining in beauty. 12 works of God as Holy Spirit are all manifest in the amethyst. John said the 12th power of the gospel showing forth in you would be like the amethyst stone. Whosoever gets into the state of overflowing, unquenchable love is manifesting Jesus Christ. They see no evil in anybody or anything. They see their good only. They receive no injuries at anybody's hands. They rejoice at everything that occurs. Everything has a light and a life and a joy and a renewal of pleasure in it for them, which nothing that happens to them can destroy. If things grieve you, then you have not touched the 12th sweetness of the science. If things hurt you, then you are not in love with the science. You are not alive with the ecstasy of the science. If you are afraid of anything, you do not know the 12th feeling of security. Love casteth out fear. Wait. If you are poor or in debt or old or discouraged, you have not touched the resurrection stone of love that is stronger than death. She does not give an inch, does she? I told you that accusation would make somebody come to you looking sick and unhappy. Well, a joyous praise felt in your heart will bring somebody well and grateful to see you. If somebody comes a 6th time for help, you may be certain that you have been complaining and whining about something or somebody. Complaining and whining are only exhibitions of great desert spots in your character. You must fill up deserts with rain and fertilizer. You must transform your moments of complaining by praise and description of the good in the universe. The desert has not had rain enough, so you have not charity and mercy enough if you feel like complaining. She does not give an inch. An inch! Woo. If things in your past have made you feel sad and hard, you must say the good they have done you makes you thankful. Give great thanks. Nehemiah told the people not to grieve or mourn at all. They must eat the fat and drink the sweet of their lives, just as if it had come to them. Jesus Christ taught that we must look upon our life just as it has come to us and beautify and inspire it with the red wine of gladness. Both Nehemiah 445 BC and Jesus Christ himself knew that you and I need not mourn if we do not choose to mourn. Jesus took the six stone water jugs and inspired the water to become wine. So you and I can take our conditions and inspire them with the 12th lesson of the science. Okay. He inspired the water to become wine. At the sound of the 12th lesson, on the sands of the Sahara, roses and corn and grapes will spring up. At the sound of the 12th lesson, on the desolation of your heart, happiness will spring up within you and radiate around you. The 12th stone is the amethyst, symbol of happiness. We may see that the 12 lessons of science are all intended to bring supreme happiness to the world. Carlyle says there is a higher condition than happiness. He calls it blessedness. But blessedness and true happiness are identical terms. Nothing is left for us to wish for when the 12 lessons of science have poured out their 12 lessons upon our life. It is gratification to know that if an accusation will bring a sick person, a thankful and praiseful word felt sincerely will bring a happy and healed case to our sight. It is a good thing to know that there are healing thoughts we can think which will fill our mind when it gets to complaining and whining. We need not deny if we feel low-spirited and dissatisfied. We need just describe the good of our lot. We have lost sight of our good for a moment. Describing our good will bring it out, or bring it to our sight again. Okay. Okay. Well, so there she is, cutting us a little slack. She said, look, you don't need to deny it if you feel low-spirited and dissatisfied. What you need to do is describe your good, because it will bring it back to your mind. One thing, remember, you will feel less spiritual inspiration when you are mourning, whining, and complaining than when you praise and describe the good. But when you praise and describe the good, you will feel full of spiritual fervor. If a case appears the 6th time, you must praise them for every virtue, every power, every beauty you can think of. You need not deny the disease. You need not deny your complaining. You must just praise and describe the good in them. The denials you have been giving have made some good chinks in the cottage through which your sunlight can penetrate. Happiness will bubble over and glisten from you through a mind that comes the 6th time for treatment. A deaf and blind person stands for some willfulness of yours. You would not see a plain truth, and you would not hear what somebody told you once upon a time. You persisted in seeing things your own way. But now your daily denials of accusation will break down your stubbornness. You will listen meekly, gladly, willingly to every voice. You will be quick to detect the true and the false ring in what you hear. The false will not count with you. You will forget it. Now you know that accusation takes different forms of expression or writing on faces and in people. You remember that yesterday's lesson spoke of the hyacinth as standing for beauty and judgment. Good judgment marks the face with lines of beauty. Falling short of good judgment marks the face with weakness and homeliness. So, if you see a homely face, it is certain that you have been accusing people of being foolish and ignorant. If you yourself are homely, you have accused yourself of being foolish and ignorant. Homeliness and weakness may come down to disease. They are so dependent upon accusations of foolishness and ignorance. Oh, this is Jesse really likes this passage, so I have a star by it, and you'll see why in just a minute, because he quotes this one on a regular basis. You see an immense herd of plain-looking people in our cities. They do not look much diseased. This signifies that you have, all your lifetime, been accusing people and yourself in a general way, not at all maliciously, but enough to show forth. You see many elderly and old people. They show your accusations against certain ones that they know little or nothing. Your own accusations against yourself will have the same effect as against others. The effect of praise of... Oh. Okay, I got it. Sorry about that. Okay, hang on. Let's go back. The effect of praise of the spiritual intelligence is to bring beauty and good judgment to view everywhere. We look at a strong person, and if we remember how their strength looked to us, we catch their strength. There is a text which reads, "In thy light we shall see light." It can be carried out also in the strength which people show. It can be the same with beauty. In thy beauty we see beauty, which means that as we recognize beauty, we soon show forth the same beauty. There is a story of a child who kept a picture of a beautiful woman in her room and looked at it and talked to it so much that she became like the picture. A young woman found an ideal face of Jesus Christ and carried it around with her. She looked at it and loved it so much that her face began to resemble the face of Jesus Christ remarkably, even to the fine shining light which always transfigures it when we think of it. Ingratitude is a painter of hard lines on the face. Soon all the curves and smiles will change. We must have a grateful feeling towards everyone and everything. In the story of the first violin by Jesse Frothergill, the hero, who was supernaturally handsome, is pictured as always grateful for everything that anyone did. Cynicism is a species of ingratitude that brings the most extraordinary people around us. Give thanks to the universe, to your ancestors, to your neighbors, to yourself, to animals, to everything that you have dealings with. Its spirit is your good, loving provider. Sometimes you must stop giving thanks to the supreme God and name everything as giving you bounty, for God seems far off sometimes and not speaking and breathing through our world and every object in it. By stretching the mind forth to be grateful to our idea of God, we do well, but we do well to look at the God near at hand also. The divine intelligence marks the orbit of the distant Canis Major, and rounds the little moons of Mercury with the same tender care. Divine beauty paints the North Star and the violet with imperial tenderness. So you will be grateful to the person who steals your purse, as well as to the father who provides for your youth. Why? Because God is the life, the spirit, the intelligence of each alike, without difference of goodness from the hand of the Lord. If you have not seen this, it is true just the same. Did you ever see a calm, benign countenance? It shows how once you said calm, peaceful words and thought that way in harmony with your words. Look over your list of acquaintances, those you can call by name, and see what there is that is lovely in them. Then remember a while how that loveliness looked. Bring all the tithes into the storehouse, said the prophet to the Jews. If you gather all the beauty of one woman into your memory, all the smiles of a friend into your memory, you will have all the tithes in your storehouse. The prophet said that whosoever should do this, would spill over with blessings, for they would not have room enough to keep them to themselves. This constitutes happiness. Happiness is the stone of freedom. Amethyst touches the blue of the sapphire, shines a light with the red of the ruby, gives the white of the diamond. Last, as it has all the colors in one, it is the last stone of revelation. It leaves out most of the green, for green stands mostly for works. With the last polish of the lessons on your character, you see that there is nothing whatsoever to do. All mind was, and is, and ever will be the finished work of the divine mind. God saw everything that it had made, and behold, it was very good. Divine mind never sees any evil and sees nothing to do. While we see evil or see something to do, we must think according to denials and affirmations. When we love greatly, love supremely, we see nothing to do. And finished, beautiful life satisfies us everywhere we walk. Like the clear, innocent amethyst, we let the happiness of the divine mind sift its innocent light through us. As you look through the amethyst, you see all the colors of the rainbow. As you look through the topaz, everything looks laughing yellow. Even the shadows look happy. As you look through the amethyst, the happiness of the topaz is accompanied by the intelligence of the sardis and the inspiration of the ruby. The green of green stone symbolizes completed work. Now, do not lay too much stress upon stones, nor upon any other kind of symbol. Money is a symbol of the riches of God, the bounty of God. The topaz tells you to laugh because everything is supplied with its natural good. The amethyst tells you that everything is good and wise and satisfied, as well as being able to do all things. But none of these is the thing itself. Gold is the symbol of the bounty of Jehovah. When you look at gold, speak its meaning. That is its life and substance. If it does not increase for you, then you are ungrateful, cynical. Its nature is hidden from you as deeply as Lazarus was buried. Do you remember how Jesus Christ gave thanks when Lazarus was cold and still? Well, when your conditions are cold and unyielding, after you have been treating them faithfully, you must go into a room by yourself and give thanks to the Spirit that it always does everything good for you, that it supplies you, pays your debts, and in every way blesses you. Then speak to the gold, or to your affairs, or to your sick neighbor, or to your family trouble with a loud voice. praising its real meaning, and call it to come forth with new life, new kindness, new bounty, and good conditions. Read over the story of how Jesus raised Lazarus in the 11th chapter of John. It tells how Jesus tarried when he knew that Lazarus was sick, in order to symbolize or tell how people sometimes neglect to give thanks and feel grateful so long that things get seemingly very bad for them. We have all the hardships because we have been neglectful of the vitalizing power of right words. But even here, said Jesus, there is a way to make things into new life. It is the highest evidence of power to be able to take seemingly dead conditions and wake them into happy life. The last enemy to be overthrown is death. When you have learned the last lesson, you will not only have power, but all power. You are not free from one accusation only. You are free from accusation utterly. You see the whole ground of the law beneath your feet. So, love is the fulfilling of the law. George Herbert sang the 12th light of Revelation. Oh, now I know how all thy lights combine, and the configuration of their story, seeing not only how each world doth shine, but all the constellations in their glory. You have run with the winged feet of mind from mountaintop to mountaintop of shining lessons of science without halting, but at the 12th lesson you are like an eagle that folds its wings over the earth so far beneath and surveys the landscape in peaceful security. There is absolute security if you understand and feel the 12th lesson of science. The amethyst stands for security. Only the heart that is above condemnation feels secure from condemnation. Ooh, all right then. Only the heart that is above condemnation feels secure from condemnation. That's a good one. The axiom of the 12th lesson is, they that know me transcends me. It means that whoever truly knows me is transcendently beyond the God they imagined me to be. Okay. You know that even you feel yourself to possess... Oh, wait, hang on. I just skipped a whole line there. Let me back up. You know that even you feel that those who love you find in you virtue beyond what you feel yourself to possess. The person who sees in their neighbor great virtues have in themselves those very virtues. It is themselves they see. They may not appreciate goodness and greatness as rich germs in their own nature, needing only to see goodness and greatness outside of themselves to be fed with increasing good. Within yourself is the germ of beauty. If you see beauty outside of yourself without carping at it, or complaining that you have it not, your germs are fed and beauty begins to show in you. Okay. You have touched the 12th lesson of science. This is the old art of animation of the particular from the universal, sought after by the ancients but not found. It is recognized good that makes us good enough to show goodness. The great wisdom power within you is ready to spring up, fed with the increasing principle, when you see wisdom expressed in a book or a person, or even if you see for a second the wisdom expressed by the flies and the spiders in your house. If you look straight into the face of the all-pervading wisdom of the universe, you will feed your germs, which are like little mouths waiting for food, with their own kind of ailment, and your wisdom will increase rapidly. So with happiness. You look into the child's happiness and do not lament because you are not happy, but just thank the happiness you see for showing itself to you, and your germ or love of happiness innate within you will be fed. If anybody speaks to you critically, listen carefully. There is a ring of divine intelligence at your door. You will get a piece of news about your faults, and you will take those faults and deny them. This may leave you a little melancholy. Now you want to thank God for speaking to you. Give thanks for the wisdom expressed to you. This causes your love of wisdom to feed in delight. Right now, I just have this image of like little birds, baby birds in a nest with their mouths open, waiting for mama bird to come and feed them. And they've got little name tags on them, good, beauty, whatever she's been saying, wisdom. So it's just a really random image to have in my head, but I thought I'd share. So, okay. And since I'm taking a moment, I'm going to grab a drink of water too. All right. Whew. When you see the adversity as the hand of God bestowing bounty, and give thanks to God and call to the bounty of God to come plainly to your sight, you have touched the lights of all 12 lessons at once. All right. It is not that God chose adversity through which to give you riches. No, it is that having neglected to give thanks and be grateful at the right time, you have covered your prosperity with a cold shell. But there is no death of prosperity. It is alive in your adversity, and by your dealings with this state of affairs, you can bring out your prosperity. It lies within adversity to bring your bounty, to feed your love of prosperity innate within you, like a hungry germ. It lies within criticism to feed your love of wisdom, innate within you, like a hungry germ. The love of strength, the love of health, the love of security, the love of skill, the love of harmony, all abide within you. When you see health or strength or prosperity, or see power of any kind, and do not whine or carp or complain that you do not have them, you are fed instantly, and soon will be all that you see. Also, you will see more. It is the beauty of health that if you see it, it increases to your sight. Have you ever noticed that if you see a lame person on the street, you soon see half a dozen lame people? Things increase by seeing them. It never rains when you let things come without ugly feelings, but it pours. When you see health, peace, prosperity everywhere, you are in the absolute mind of God. If you practice every Saturday afternoon, praising your world, telling you are satisfied with it, describing it as the perfect creation of the divine mind, you will soon see more good than you have been accustomed to seeing. So, I believe there is a don't in the science, which has no denial with it, but only science, and that is don't complain. And I want you to know that's in all caps. Don't complain. All caps. The word of the Lord came to Haggai the prophet. The desire of all nations shall come, and I will fill this house with glory, saith the Lord of hosts. You can see that, like the rest of the prophets, He saw that a time would come when the doctrine preached by Jesus would be understood. You can see that if the skies, air, trees, people are all filled with the spirit of good, we shall increase our love of God by seeing this good. It is the opening of our eyes, ears, mouth to be filled with satisfaction. Sometimes it is wise to say that everything we see, hear, smell, taste, feel, and think delights us. We are satisfied utterly. This is breaking the barriers down. Our eyes have power to see much beyond what we use them for, and so it is with all our faculties. Okay. Ibsen wrote a play called The Master Builder, in which his motive is to prove that humanity is a limited being, or that a person is a limited being and must not aspire beyond their limits. This is quite the opposite to Jesus Christ's instruction. Behold, I have set before thee an open door, and no person can shut it. To them that overcometh will I grant to sit with me in my throne, I in you, that where I am, there ye may be also. The 12th lesson sets aside the doctrine of limitations. You can see for yourself that if a person sets their mind steadfastly to the premise that they are a limited being, that word limit will stop their career somewhere. You have seen that great people rise to heights of knowledge like Emerson and Ruskin and then drop suddenly to non-entity. Okay, I admit, I don't know who Ruskin is, but I know who Emerson is. So Emerson did not drop into non-entity. So I'm a little curious what you're talking about there. But okay. All the powers of intellect, which intellect is the simulation of spiritual intelligence, fly to sustain any premise put by mind. So the world intellect has flown to support the idea of limitation. But the spiritual nature of humanity has no doctrine of limitation, or Jesse would say, has no principle of limitation. Take your choice which nature to take your premise from. By the spiritual law, you have no bars put anywhere to your expansion. The love of harmony within you may be fed with harmony itself, till the great masters are left behind. The wisdom within you is the love of wisdom. Feed it by the sight of wisdom itself, and your wisdom will expand and multiply to the omniscience of God. If you are capable of eating some of God, are you not capable of eating all of God? All right. What? What? Jesus Christ said, God is within you, and I am within you. Then you are able to take in all of God. This is only one form of expression which gives a different term of the mind. It is not that you eat God in a material sense, but Jesus Christ called it bread when he would have all the world eat of, speaking figuratively. Okay. I was wondering where she was going with that metaphor. Okay. We have a marvelous birthright. We do not show our intelligence, our judgment, until we lay hold upon our birthright. We can hold this knowledge within our mind, and then it will work through all the mind of the world. A false idea falls somewhere and fails. A true idea lives on and on forever. If we take the premise within our mind that there is no limit to our power, even though each day we see things seemingly acting against us, we nevertheless have the doctrine that will triumph. A piece of ice may be found in the crucible of intensest heat. If the ice holds its own and increases by constant renewal, the crucible heat must fail, leaving clear ice. So, in the fires of martyrs, they kept cool and steadfast. Pain got no hold upon them. Even racks and the flames could not hurt them. In the center of the blazing violent sun, there is a place that is beyond expression. Absolute stillness. This stillness will conquer the violence of the sun eventually. So the spirit that is within you will conquer the miseries of the human lot. They shall be visibly nothing, just as they are truly nothing. It is our business to translate the spiritual truth within into visible manifestation. Okay. We do this first by thinking the absolute truth, then speaking it, then fixing it into everything around us. We must fix the idea that we have in our mind with the right word that expresses that idea. For instance, if you mean that a person is well, but you say that they are sick, you carry for the time being the meaning of the word sick, and your mental report of it does not work with the person to heal them as quickly as the words you speak to keep them sick. We are told by Solomon that the thoughts work, but Jesus gives us to understand that not only do our thoughts work, but words which have certain meanings will convey those meanings sooner than thoughts which dispute them. We must mean exactly what we say. By thy words thou art justified. A person said that this science was not true enough, but it would take 100 years for it to work out with humanity. So, every attempt that he made to do anything was slow. He mentally thought that spirit could act instantly, of course, but his mental reservation counted for nothing for the time being. The heart must agree with the lips. The heart must agree with the lips. Okay. Zoroaster said, taking the first step with good thought, the second step with good word, the third step with good deed, I enter paradise. Okay. Well, that sounded like a prescription. So let me read that again. Taking the first step with good thought, the second step with good word, the third step with good deed, I enter paradise. If the thought and the word agree, we cannot help but enact good deeds. The lessons of science lead you to absolute freedom from the results of the thoughts of the world and from the material actions of the world. People may gather all the gold into a lump and say you cannot have any, but by some way of the Spirit you will come out with more abundant riches than all the rest put together. They may hold arguments and try psychological processes to chain your mind or change it, but the Spirit will always make a way with you to keep you free from all such attempts. You will elude every mental option as easily as you elude material things. Jesus came through their belief that he was dead. All right. Spirit does not need to go to school. It knows all things. If we speak and think from the Spirit, we are also wise without schools. The spirit does not need commandments not to lie or steal. It is out of reach of commandments. The spirit does not need to be told to be good. It is above even goodness. The goodness that humanity deals with is badness under some circumstances. For instance, if you, you can hate stealing so much that your goodness in not stealing is no virtue at all. It is a very subtle form of badness. An old lady said she thought it was very wrong to drink tea at church suppers. She did not drink tea. She hated it. Many people hate tobacco until their hatred is far worse than chewing and smoking, for their own health and the happiness of their families. Sometimes people hate the wrongdoing of others so that they cannot possibly see their virtues. It makes an acid in the blood and eats up the strong gray particles of the brain. Hate is the premise we have to let fall entirely. At which point I'm reminded of Martin Luther King. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that. I wonder if you ever read Emma. Hate nothing. God sees everything good. What are we that other people's actions are so bad in our eyes? When we have a notion to which we would like to tie all the world, we are tied to that notion. It is as much bondage to be tied to an idea as to a stake. Martin Luther believed in freedom from other people's ideas, but he wanted to tie all the world to his ideas. In science, we do not get chained to a single statement. They are all good, but we do not drag ourselves around by any of them. Okay. All right. As you know, faith is good. Faith is the salvation of humanity. The idea that faith will save humanity is a good idea. But when Luther would not shake hands with Zwingli because he did not think faith would save a person, he needed an idea beyond the idea of faith. He needed love. He needed the idea of love as the greatest of all. He tied himself to the stake of an idea and would not go on to the mountain of love. The 12 lessons of science are all ideas. The ideas have living meanings. Right? Luther's idea of faith had a living meaning, which he never got at all. The living meaning of salvation by faith is that faith in the good enables us to see good everywhere and in everything. Faith is God. God is mind. Mind is good, and mind sees good. Mind knows God. The mind that has not the living essence of its ideas is as dry as sticks. Zwingli did not believe in the doctrine of faith, so Luther wanted to lift him out of salvation. So our ideas of God have kept us chained. God is free. God is the skill of the healer. God is the spirit that works out the health of the sick. God is the skill of all things. All action has a skill about its action, and that skill is the moving Holy Spirit. God does not see the outer action. God sees only the heart. It's a very Egyptian idea, too, I think. The idea that they weigh your heart against a feather, and if it weighs more than a feather, so you can do all the good works you want, but if your heart isn't light with love, you might get eaten by a crocodile-headed god. Oh, I think it's a goddess, but okay, you know what I mean. The springs of life are fed by the meanings of words. Some people do not quite feel the meanings of the words they use, but the use of the words by and by breaks their meanings out over the mind. Precious ointment was shut in the alabaster boxes. Striking the boxes broke them, and the precious ointment fell out. So, striking the right words together breaks them open. After a while, it is the meaning of the words that go over the world like angels of mercy, changing all the thoughts of people. The higher the truths we tell, the finer and more precious their meaning. Breaking open the 12 lessons of science and receiving the ointment of the meaning is getting at the actual teaching of Jesus Christ. Looking at your state of mind, you will see how full you seem to be of heavy ideas. Your breath seems to have brought in anxieties. Now hardships meet you at every turn. You think. The ancients advised people to breathe outward, to entirely empty their lungs of breath, and then draw in the breath with some affirmation of good. Then, when they breathed outward again, they would have only a healing breath going through their bodies and affairs. The breath, they said, is vitally connected with our happiness. You will sometimes find yourself praising and blessing your affairs for your prosperity, their life in God. Wait, what? Hang on. I'm going to back up. No, I'm going to get a drink of water. Okay. And I'm going to try that sentence again. You will sometimes find yourself praising and blessing your affairs for your prosperity, their life in God. You will find yourself consigning all your affairs into the hands of Spirit. Whatsoever we do, we are not to lament, not to wail, not to mourn. There is nothing that will slice out of your feeling of power like grief. You cannot cry and heal at the same moment. Shakespeare said, grief, that's beauty's canker, and judgment is beauty. People make the worst mistake of their lives when they are wailing. All the time the spirit sits in calm security in perfect happiness. When we are happy through some accomplishment directly from the hand of our doctrine, we have the amethyst stone of character. We are in intelligence and peace. They together make happiness. All despondency, all melancholy, all depression of feeling must be met by breathing in and out the words of praise of the great realities of life. The spiritual nature of humanity is their reality. The reality is understanding. Understanding is formless, but it formulates. Well, that was clever. This is very metaphysical. Let me repeat it. My understanding has no form, but it formulates me and my affairs. I have no affairs and no substance except what my understanding formulates. Now, those affairs formulated by pure understanding are not visible to my fleshly eyes, which sees things imperfectly since they are limited. This sight in itself is a fine, piercing ray from my understanding. Let me give the right word, and that sight will extend to touch perfect objects. So with hearing. It is no good to limit my hearing by not giving my understanding its absolute sway with me. Understanding can radiate through us till our faculties touch things in an entirely different way than they do now. The more freedom we give our understanding, the more delight we have in life. Our understanding being set free, it feeds upon the great universal light. There is enough understanding in the universe for feeding our faculties forever. The step towards setting free our understanding of the world in which we live and the understanding of ourselves at the same time has been taken when the 11th lesson of science has been practiced. It is being set free from accusations of foolishness and ignorance. There is no acid in the mind that has no condemnation, either of itself or anybody else. It is the acid of the thinking evil that makes the blood corrode and the bones and skin and sinews to fail. It is possible to nullify all our strong feelings by some exactly opposite ideas. If you find yourself thinking that somebody is entirely wrong in using material remedies when you know that the word of spirit is the only healer, let that idea fall out of your mind. In other words, let people do what they need to do, is really what it sounds like she's saying. Oh, okay. Let that idea fall out of your mind. It is the same with not using them. You will find you are free as God is free if you depend upon nothing at all for your health. Your simple freedom is enough of a spread of the truth. Some find themselves having new diseases, new pains, new troubles every day. They can all be traced to the bondage of the mind, to some one idea or another. The Sunday affirmation of science is good for such people. It is one you must also keep for Sunday. It is, while knowing all things and doing all things, I am independent of all things. I am absolutely free. All right, let's do that again. While knowing all things and doing all things, I am independent of all things. I am absolutely free. This will take you out of the clutches of your old drugs. It will take you out of the clutches of your idea that it is wicked to use drugs. You will be free from the need of remedies bodily and free from any idea of remedies mentally. It is the same with old age. The word of the Spirit is eternal life. There is no old age in spirit. The knowledge of this will set you free from the clutches of old age physically and from the clutches of old age mentally. The same is true of riches. Outwardly, you will be well provided for. Then you will feel free. Mentally, you will never think of coming to want. You will never get to imagining what you would do if you should come to want. This is real freedom. We must get free from our ideas. God is freedom from ideas. God is the free substance that penetrates and pervades all things. If you are afraid to do anything because somebody might like it, you are tied to their ideas. Oh, because somebody might not like it. Okay. If you were afraid to do anything because somebody might not like it, you are tied to their ideas. You must do as it is right to do because you are pleased with the right and you have not learned. Hang on. All right. You must do as it is right to do because you are pleased with the right, or you have not learned the 12th lesson of the science. You are not happy if you are not free. You must begin the description of the perfection of the world in which you live. You are glad that the free spirit is flowing through the airs. Tell it you are glad. You are glad there is a way to speak to the spirit to bring it into your being. Tell it you are glad. You think your neighbor is a beautiful soul. Tell her soul mentally that you are glad It is so beautiful. The skies are lovely. Their loveliness is spiritual. Tell their loveliness how glad you are that it is visible to you. The stars resting on their black beds are wonderful. Their wonderfulness is spiritual. Tell them how glad you are that it is visible to you. The deep night, half towards morning, is stately peace. Though you stand on bare sand, there is mind whispering rich secrets. You do not need to be lonesome. Jesus Christ is whispering every instant some wonderful message into your ear. It would be a good plan for you to listen to the voice of the Spirit. No matter if you are riding in the street, cars, you can be listening to what the free Spirit is speaking as plainly to you through the earthquake as through the stillness. Only we do not think we can listen to a voice within a sound as well as to a voice within the stillness. There is a chance for the most unhappy person among you to breathe out your unhappiness and breathe in descriptions of the things you are glad about, until you hear the finer voice of nature, till you see the finer side of things. You get above the idea of your world. What? You get above the ideas of your world. You are free from them. Okay. Hoping we're getting to Okay. I'm going to take a minute here. I'm going to go back to you get above the ideas of your world. You are free from them. You get above even the idea of freedom. You see, the idea of freedom takes with it the idea of bondage of some kind. So you are neither free nor bound. You are not on that plane. You do not talk about riches, for that idea conveys the idea of poverty. You are neither rich nor poor. You do not live on that plane. You do not say you have dominion over all things, because the idea of dominion is the same as the idea that somebody is inferior in some way. You are neither inferior nor superior. You do not live on that plane. The Spirit never gets caught on any of those hooks. It is not inferior to your understanding, nor superior to it. The Spirit is one with your understanding, so the Spirit has no dominion over you. It is one with you. You do not talk of destroying your temper. You have no temper to destroy. You do not talk of getting free from poverty. You have no poverty to get free from. This is the effect of using the 12th statement of science. You sometimes hear scientists make these statements, and they sound dangerous. They only show that they are thinking just as the 12th lesson led them. Every Saturday afternoon, you ought to have a special proclamation. If you have a good realization of the meaning of what you say that afternoon, you will keep free from complaining about your disappointment or troubles, even within your own mind. Why should you tie your mind to a stake and swing it back and forth like a rag in the wind? If you tie your mind to a single idea, you will miss the 12th lesson. There have been many people who have missed the 12th lesson because they have stopped to whine and wail. They tied themselves to an idea that they did not like the one thing and howled all night long over it. Of course, these cases came for a sixth treatment and said they were not cured. Of course, the same old affair faced them again for the 6th time. I'm going to take a pause here because I have something written in the margins. Talk about what we want, not what we have. Okay. So, You must not tie to an idea of anything being bad. If we speak of it, let us quickly give this 12th lesson law to our mind. That is, we say nothing more about it. We think nothing more about it. We ignore it utterly and talk about something we like. We think about the true premise we have taken, where we propose to think that if evil is not a reality, we do not mean to deal with it. So talk about what we want. Talk about the good, not about what we have. Huh. Okay. It was written sideways and I had terrible handwriting. That's why I had to turn the book. And maybe I shouldn't talk about my terrible handwriting. Emma would probably tell me I was complaining. Okay. Now, whatever proposition you have made up your mind to, can you not stick to it? Of all things, if it is true that there is a substance of delight called mind within ourselves, and we can make whatever thought we please by thinking that way, we shall be very silly indeed if we do not choose a noble thought about ourselves instead of an ignoble one. It is a noble thought to say, I am satisfied with the world in which I walk. All things please me. Near me is the presence of good, and afar off is the good. You are all creations of the living God, perfect, harmonious, satisfying. You will find this is a good idea with which to work out your happiness. Having your mind filled with this idea, you cannot have another idea in it. This idea results in happiness. It is the one to take when you feel like comparing your lot in life with what you wanted it to be. It radiates your work with the green of the amethyst stone. It will gladden your home with the yellow sunshine of the topaz stone. It will make peace and harmony among your friends, like the sapphire blue of heaven. It will redden your business with the ruby wine of prosperity. It is what is so gloriously demonstrated by Peter and John. They sang with great songs of joy when they might have wailed because they were in prison. If you will notice people, you will see that they can hardly be made to laugh and sing when they contrast their lot, as it seems, with what they wanted it to be. People say that they would be satisfied if they had this or that or the other. No such thing. If they mourn now, they would find something to mourn about then. Happiness is something that must come from the mind within, being fed and renewed by the truth of life. Nothing but truth will satisfy the mind. Complaining kept the Israelites of old from large inheritance. They provoked the Lord with their complaining. The pleasant, happy mind is a health giver without trying to be. It knows its value in the world. It does not heal without knowing what it is that heals. Jesus perceived when he was healing people who were behind him. It is intelligence. Nobody is so wise that a person who has refused the temptation to complain and has in their mind spoken the 12th lesson of science. The meeting of melancholy with this statement is the best mixture of for happiness that can be stirred up. If your case comes the 6th time, tell them that you rejoice that they are giving the free spirit unrestrained freedom through them. Knock at all 12 gates of their being through which they ought to be a shouting, healthy life. Say to the case that claims to be cured the same treatment as to the case that seems to hang on because you have felt hurt or grieved or have forgotten or neglected to give the right thoughts that would have made you an intelligent healer. This latter case should have the same treatment as the one that has been cured. It is the time for you to give thanks to God and call out loudly to the true state of affairs to come into your sight. The cured case is easily told mentally that you rejoice in their health as God. The case that you are finding fault with and so keep on the sick list, does not seem so easy, but if you have made it hard, you must soften it. I must truthfully say that the case which comes the sixth time for cure is the outshowing of your disposition. A good disposition through and through is a happy disposition, and a happy disposition will cure anything. A happy disposition mixed with scientific words makes a quick understanding of how to speak mentally to a sick or unhappy being and bring them instantly out into the right state. A good disposition mixed with these lessons of science will make a perfect memory. A good disposition mixed with thoughts of the truths of life put forth while you are alone each day will make you very good and quick at speaking and writing the science. If your disposition is bad or seems so to yourself or friends, the repetition of the 12th premise in science will make it good. Another thing, you will be able to quickly see if a person's disposition stands in the way of their health. A lady who had trained her disposition to be smiling and cheerful had been treating a patient who believed in sore eyes for a long time. One day, she spoke mentally, very impetuously. You, as spirit, have no bad temper. The next day, the patient came, all cured. That practitioner said she would sometimes be 6 weeks treating a case and not stir it. Then she would suddenly say mentally, "You never could, as a spiritual being, feel dissatisfied with your son." Or she would say, "You, as a spirit, can say that you, as spirit, cannot be unjust with anybody." These sudden thoughts, she said, seemed to cut a tough thread that was holding the patient's mind from thinking health. These little cuts at the string can hold a case in pain or sickness. These little cuts at the strings that hold a case in pain or sickness are what come from your mind as naturally as seed comes up to corn and wheat. No teacher can tell what to say in particular to a case. They can only give the general treatment. The general treatment leads up to the particular one. There is a verse that has helped a great many people into good courage. It is this: "They who have led me this way, still on the way will show. They who have taught me this way, still more will make me know." It means that if God, in its infinite wisdom, kindness, and mercy, has put the science before us and led us into it, it will see that we go on to its end. It is as with David when he was taken from the sheepcote, from following after sheep, and put into the king's palace. God elected him and fitted him for this place. So, if you have been chosen to learn the science, chosen to practice it, God, the infinite mind, will give you strength and fitness to fulfill each task set before you. Sometimes you will seem to be in great trouble, but you will never go under. Calamity will never overtake you. Probably the most prominent practitioners have had the very hardest troubles to encounter, but they never go under. They are always lifted safely over. A ship on the ocean dips low and rides high. So you are built if you have these lessons in your mind. They have gone out like angels to prepare your way for you. They have taken deep and eternal hold on your mind and body. Jesus said, "Fear not, little flock, And so I say to you, be faithful to the lessons. Be faithful to this last lesson, which goes down into your deep nature and takes hold of your disposition to make it divine. If a case comes cured the 6th day, it is a sure signal that you have gained a victory over your disposition. You have won the amethyst stone. A very simple, trusting practitioner who has entirely given her life to the spiritual doctrine had an amethyst given her. She took it as a signal that she had been victorious over her disposition. She thought to herself, it is a sign that, when I wanted to complain, I promptly spoke the last treatment of science. She had a topaz given to her. She took it as a sign that she had put cheerful, buoyant words out into her affairs when they troubled her. The outward conditions are so dependent on my thoughts, she said, that I feel as if there were sermons in brooks and books in stones telling me how I am getting on. One teacher used to talk to herself first as a lowly newborn, perfect child of the Spirit, as she was when 1 year old, then 2 years old. She told the little thing what a miracle of God would be wrought for her some day. Then, when she came to the year of her age, according to the world's reckoning, she would pronounce the whole miracle already wrought. She felt that it was very important that she be every whit whole in her mind if she was to teach the science. No matter what that patient of yours would say to you personally, if you were to see them now, you may give them the 6th treatment, which is the last lesson of the science. You will be faithful in giving it to your world every Saturday afternoon, and you will treat every case, no matter how it seems, to this teaching, if it comes a 6th time. Follow me. I will speak to that one who used to believe in disease. You are a perfect creation of the living God, spiritual, harmonious, fearless, free. You reflect all the universe of good. From every direction, everywhere, comes words of truth, making you know that you are free, wise, and happy. You are satisfied with the world in which you live. You show forth to the world health, wisdom, peace. You show to me perfect health in every part of your being. You are fearless, free, strong, wise, and able to do everything that belongs to you to do each day. God works through you to will and to do that which ought to be done by you. You are a living demonstration of the power of truth to set free into health and strength for living service to the world. You acknowledge to the world that you are every whit whole. You acknowledge to yourself and to me that you are well and strong and alive through and through. God is your life, health, strength, and support forever. In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Ghost, I pronounce you well and strong. In the name of the maiden, the mother, and the crone, I pronounce you well and strong. As God saw the works of its hands good, so I see you good. All is good. Amen. Well, that was a marathon. That is 12 weeks of Emma. And I am better for it. So, I commend to you Scientific Christian Mental Practice by Emma Curtis Hopkins. It has been a pleasure for me to read it to you and to read it for me. And may the lessons in truth pin themselves in your soul, deep in your soul, that they are ever available to you whenever you need them. And now I'm going to go get a good drink of water and rest my voice. And providing that there is power tomorrow, I will be back to continue with a new design for living. Blessings be upon you. It has been a journey, and I have enjoyed every minute of it. Thank you very much for coming along with me. Oh.